Hey everybody, welcome back to Development Division. This is Chris, and today I'm going to be working on the Jeep a little bit. I have a trip coming up this weekend, so I have to fix the problems that I don't want to deal with out of town. I have a power steering pump that needs to be replaced. I'm going to go ahead and replace the serpentine belt, and I'm going to replace my O2 sensors. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start out with our power steering pump. So our first step to get some access to our power steering pump is to, we need to remove our negative battery terminal first. We do have a sensor we had to undo, so let's just undo this. It's always a good step to do before you mess with anything on your car. This is a air sensor of some sort. I don't know exactly which one in particular it is, but we're going to pull this off. Get a Phillips head screwdriver, or flathead screwdriver, sorry, and remove the air hose that connects to the throttle. There are 4 metal tabs around your air box. Once you have those 4 tabs off and that one hose clamp loosened, you can pull that off. Check this off to the side. There's going to be 2 squares towards the middle of your tensioner. You want to go to the one on the far left and then turn it clockwise, and you should be able to get your belt off. This is a good opportunity to take a picture of the routing. I will actually take a picture because my sticker has worn off. I'm sure you can find this information on the internet, but always good to practice just in case your internet stops working. Down. And now we have access to our power steering pump right here. It's connected with, looks like, 3 bolts, maybe 13 millimeter. There are 4 holes in your pulley here. They're designed that way so you can stick a socket through the hole and to your mounting bolt. Like I said, there's going to be 3 bolts. There's going to be one at the top position, and then one directly under that, and then one a little bit off to the right, passenger side. Now you have 2 lines connecting the power steering pump to your steering box. I have a set of channel locks here. These should work just fine on this factory clamp. You can do this when you still have those bolts in, so your pump doesn't move around too much. Five-eighths wrench works the best, looks like. I'm just going to get a drip pan. I feel like some power steering fluid is just going to come out of our pump while we try to take it off. So I'm going to try to catch some of that, hopefully not make too much of a mess. But thankfully, I think all the power steering fluid has leaked out of my Jeep before doing this. So always let your fluid just leak out, and you skip a step. It's efficiency, really. All right, so now we have our, we took out the earbox, so now it's pretty simple to remove our power steering reservoir. You have two lines here we need to disconnect. I'm sure there's a better tool, there's an actual tool for this, but these channel locks get you by, and they're multi-purpose, so if you're trying to set up a toolkit on the low budget, you need to start getting tools that you can use for more than one thing. Dope. Now I get another one of my favorite tools. These are hose pliers. They're just pliers, but they have a little like circled end to it, so they can wrap around a hose, and that's how you break them loose. Kind of turn it one way and the other. You hear that snap. Now you can just pull that hose off like nothing ever happened. Do it again with this bottom one. This might be a little tougher. You can also get a pick like this. This is a sort of like a dental pick, and put that in there where that hose connects to, kind of break it up. Usually this works if all else fails. There we go. Reservoir out. Got my garden hose here. Way out. I mean, that's not bad. We have our new and our old power steering pump reservoir. It's important that you replace your reservoir because most of your modern day reservoirs have the filters built in to the reservoir. So if you don't replace the reservoir, you're not replacing your filter. So the next time you replace your pump, you might be putting that same contaminants straight back through to your new pump. You might prematurely damage the new pump and have to do everything again. Here is the old pump. I'm not exactly sure yet how it failed. And here's our new one. Same thing. I just have to press on our pulley here. I don't have the press, so I'm going to do the next best thing. That's hit it with a hammer. I'm going to try to make this as flat as possible and then just hit this on with my hammer. Looks like it's gonna work to me. I hope. I have it pretty much flush. Okay, so now we've gone over our old parts and our new parts. Let's head back to the Jeep and install it. All right, so we're back in the engine bay. Some of this has had some time to air dry just a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and start by putting our new pump in. Now, to secure the pump down, you're going to want to use a medium strength thread locker here. It's going to prevent the bolts from coming out due to vibration. And the easiest way you're going to install this pump is to just sit inside of your car. So, kind of like this. here, we shall line up the holes. Our bolts through. I'll put the torque specs up on the screen right now for those of you who need it. I will be going with the human torque wrench today. That should be tight enough. I'm going to replace the O-ring on this side. I might have a little pick here. Just gonna get under it, take it off. Looks fine, but I mean, it's been on the Jeep for 170,000 miles, so go ahead and just replace it with a new one. Back in there. So now here is the easy part. I'm gonna go ahead and top off my power steering fluid reservoir. Damn it. I'm gonna turn on the car and start turning the wheel back and forth. All right, good to go. So replacing the O2 sensors is going to be pretty easy. Your fender liner may not look like this. Mine just comes off two 10 millimeter bolts. This is a modified version of the stock fender liner that came with it. I'm just going to take that off. So you guys will have to figure out how to take off your fender liner. And we have our sensor 1, our upstream sensor 1 right here. I don't know if you can kind of like through the grapevine here. So we have our upstream sensor here, and then just about a foot down this same pipe towards the back, we have our downstream. It's laid out pretty similar on the passenger side. Well, let's go ahead and go over there, and I'll show you exactly where they are. And our upstream sensor is right here, and our downstream is just a foot down. Before you get started, you want to spray some penetrating fluid on these. Everything that's on the exhaust, like your exhaust bolts, your manifold bolts, anything that gets super hot or has a very dynamic temperature change, those types of components are going to get seized in there. So you want to use some penetrating fluid to kind of break up some of that rust, and it'll kind of help you out just a little bit. So I sprayed some yesterday. I'm going to spray some right now. I'm gonna let it sit for like 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to attempt to remove the O2 sensors and replace them. Here is my setup to remove my O2 sensors. I have a 7/8 or a 22 millimeter oxygen sensor socket. I got this one at Harbor Freight. Okay. So this oxygen sensor actually turned out to be really easy to come off. Undo the connector. Got that disconnected. Another oxygen sensor right here on your passenger side. Got our connector off. I'm just going to clean this off. I think I got it. So I just really quickly wanted to go over what the old O2 sensors look like and what the old power steering pump and reservoir look like. Here's the pump. I suspect, I really don't know where the leak came from. May have been the pump, maybe an O-ring around here, may have been just the O-ring on the high pressure line. I'm not too sure. But that's what that looks like. Reservoir. See if I can show you guys the filter. The filter is that in there. I'm sure there's some sort of sensor attached to it, but that your filter goes in there as well. So for the driver's side, this is my sensor 1. I did damage the head a little bit. This was buckled, not as much as it is now, but it was buckled already. This one was toast. Downstream on the driver's side. Yeah, it's not too terribly bad. I believe this is the upstream on the passenger side. And then the downstream on the passenger side. I will go ahead and put the part numbers to all the parts that I put on my Jeep, as well as the OEM replacements if you guys want to go with Mopar stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, God dang it. No. Baby. This is so fun, dude.